Hey guys, Huzz here, bringing you another video. This time going to be talking about the meta game. You know, what is the meta? Why does it exist? Why do some people argue against it? All that type of thing. So if you're a newer player to League of Legends, you may have not heard what the term meta means. So the meta is basically the best current setup for the game as possible. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's the way that professionals, you'll see them playing. It's where the standard gameplay, really. So you'll have a tanky top in the current meta. You'll have a tanky top lane, a kind of carry-ish jungler. You'll have a AP mid that can obviously carry. You'll have an AD carry, and you'll have a support. That is currently the most optimum setup for the game, and the game is optimized in that way. Now, occasionally people play stuff out the meta or champions that are not popular. And some people have mixed views about this. A lot of people, like I've had people saying comments of people are calling everybody meta sheep nowadays, which I've never personally heard the term, but they kind of say, oh, just break the meta, play something different. But the whole point of the meta is that is the strongest point of the game. It is the if you play the meta the way it's supposed to be played, it has the highest chance of you actually succeeding. That's what it's there for, and that's why it exists. Now, the meta itself has, it does change. The meta has not been the same for all these years. I've played since Season 1, and I can tell you the meta has changed a lot since then. AD carries used to be actually in top lane ages ago, back in Season 1. They used to be top lane, and that's why bruisers were introduced to top lane, because bruisers can kill AD carries fairly easily. And then because bruisers went up to kill AD carries, another bruiser went up to counter the AD carry. And then everybody thought, hang on, if we put another champion with the AD carry in bot lane, he has a bit of support to try and help him farm to that late game stage. And that's how the current meta has kind of evolved into what it is today. It's been all over the place, and I think, this is just a hunch, but I think Riot really do like the current meta state that it's in that there's a tanky-ish top, there's a support, there's a jungler, AD carry in the mid lane. I think that's what Riot will kind of stick to. Now, this does not mean that you won't see other things. Obviously, there's lane swaps. That was very highly involved in the meta a couple months ago. You occasionally see the AD carry and support go mid lane if you want to counter the mid lane rather, a lot. Things like this does exist. Now, I'm going to speak from a perspective really about solo queue, but also, taking little things from ranked LCS, a little bit as well. So in ranked solo queue, everybody wants to win. You're a fool if you're not going into a game not wanting to win. And the easiest way to do this is play the strongest champions of the game, the flavor of the month champions as such. Now, the flavor of the month champions exist for the same reason the meta exists. It is literally the strongest champions, so the most buff champions at the time. They will give you the highest chance of winning if you know how to play them. That's why they are the flavor of the month champions. Now, you may ask, where do I find the flavor of the month? Where do I kind of know where these exist? Go watch LCS. It's the easiest way to kind of just get a hunch of what people are kind of playing. Seeing that LCS, everybody, their career is on the line. So actually, people playing the strongest champions is kind of vital in that kind of situation. So the meta as well has been around since pretty much the beginning of League of Legends, and I don't see a meta game shifting. I don't think it's ever going to be to a stage that is just completely random. I think there'll always be structure to the game of League of Legends. I think that's just the way it will be. StarCraft, I can't think of a lot of situations of StarCraft, but I presume in StarCraft there's just superior builds. There is literally, you play Protoss, there is a superior build than other builds. Obviously there are multiple, but there will be one in each category. If you're just base rushing, if you're holding out, there is going to be a superior build, and that's kind of what I would compare League of Legends to. There is just a superior way called the meta of doing things. Now, what do I think of the people that kind of go, the meta exists, I'm not going to play it? In a way, I think these people are a little bit silly, and I think they may be not trying to offend anybody here, but I may be thinking they think they're better than the meta. Now, the meta, as mentioned, is there for a reason. The meta is there because it's the most powerful thing in the game. And these people are thinking, no, I'm better than the meta. I can play something that is, not very good and still do well. Now, don't get me wrong. I am someone that believes that you can literally play anything in solo queue and win. That is true. You can play Mordekaiser all day and do fine. You can play Heimerdinger and get Challenger if you wanted to, if you're good enough. That's the whole point. You have to be good enough. But if you want the highest chances of winning, you'll play the strongest champions at the current time. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage to playing, that AP Tristana bot lane. That is... It could do well, don't get me wrong, anti-meta things. That, if you're going into a game and you're playing something that is not meta, it does not mean that you're not going to do well. The whole reason of the meta is it's very balanced in the way that all your damage ratios should add up fairly well. If you are going with that AP mid lane, the AD carry, the bruiser top, everything should kind of mesh quite nicely together. And if you're not doing that, then you may have a little bit of a hard time, maybe in the later stages of the game, maybe even the lane phase. So it's just something that you've got to have to kind of balance. And if you are somebody that your favourite champion in League of Legends is not one of the flavour of the months, that's fine, but still you probably want to make sure that you're playing it either in the correct way or the most viable way. Now examples of this would probably be, someone loves Zilean and they decide to play Zilean AD carry. That is really not the most optimum way to play Zilean, for one. You can play Zilean, no one's going to stop you, but if you're going to play him AD, I wouldn't, because one, you're putting yourself at risk losing the game because he's not optimized for AD, and two, you're also harming your teammates. Now, a lot of people forget in League of Legends that you do have teammates. A lot of people don't care, but in the end of the day, you do have teammates, and you yourself get annoyed when, you may troll or your teammate may pick something that is out of meta. So, treat others how you want to be treated type of thing. So other points about the meta is that obviously, as mentioned, it will change, it will shift, and the way it changes is actually people breaking the meta, but not radically. It's never huge radical things that kind of change the meta. It's little things. So you'll notice when a meta changes, only one element may change of the meta. So example, the point where AD carries used to be top lane, bruisers were introduced. The other side of the maps weren't really changed at that time. It was literally bruisers were put up top instead of bot lane, and AD carries eventually moved down to bot. It was always one thing that kind of just changed in the pipeline. It's never really a radical change. And again, the best way to kind of find out if the meta's changing is, watching high level solo queue or watching LCS tournaments. All that type of thing will kind of give you an insight of what is the strongest. Now, to the people that say kind of, I don't want to play the strongest champions in the game, I don't want to be the, the meta sheep as such. It's honestly up to you. It's your choice. Nobody's going to force you to play just the strongest champions in the game. But you do have to realize if you're playing against one of the strongest champions and you're kind of realizing, oh god, why are they doing so much more damage than me? Why are they tankier than I am with the same items? They're doing way more damage than me, but I have the same items. That is because they are simply more optimized. They are the strongest champions because they are more optimized. They're going to be doing more damage. And a lot of people also forget that. So maybe a good example of this would be... hard to think on my feet, but maybe let's just compare Wukong, what he used to be in jungle, and what he is now. That may be an okay explanation. So meta changes because multiple things, and one of them is items. So when a new item comes out or an item is updated, it may allow different things to happen. One of which is Wukong or Pantheon jungle, both being very, very strong junglers right now. And they are basically allowed to jungle because of the Spirit Stone changes. Before, if you tried to jungle one of these champions, you may be called a troll or something along them lines. There was a Reddit post of Dyrus a few months back, I think it was 4 or 5 months back, saying it would be, funny, and he never thought Mundo would be top lane, and then hey presto, he's nearly playing it every game. But as I was saying, items do make a difference, obviously. They are the things that make your champion strong and optimize your champion in stats. So once the Spirit Stone was introduced, that it allowed you to have mana and all such alike, it allowed it basically Wukong or Pantheon to jungle, where normally they wouldn't have been able to. Normally they would have been out of mana within one camp, and then that was that. But now you regen mana as you're killing jungle creeps. It's a lot easier to jungle as them champions. Now, without them items, they wouldn't have existed. Jungle Wukong or Jungle Pantheon would not have simply existed without them items. So that's kind of a one way of the meta changing, is Riot updating items. But not always. Sometimes it's just someone realizing something. There's been multiple different versions of okay, another example, Mundo went top due to, you know, wanting tankiness. Everybody thought, he's actually quite good with Spirit Visage, etc. Top lane, just free farm, become really tanky. Then everybody kind of went, hang on, what about Trundle? Now, Trundle, for a very long time, was considered a very weak pick and kind of a troll pick, no pun intended. But he wasn't considered good. But everybody thought, right, Mundo's actually quite popular right now, as so is Renekton, so is Shyvana, all of which has quite high AD. Hang on, Trundle can steal AD, have great sustain, and steal their resistances in this tank meta. Whoa, that's good. Let's play Trundle. And that's how that came about, simply because people kind of opened their eyes to what is currently played, and now Trundle is one of the top laners in the game. So the meta can change, you know, in multiple different ways. I would recommend to lower ELO people to play the meta. And that is one point that, I haven't really made yet, but who should play the meta, who shouldn't? Now, obviously, you can play what you want. It's a game after all, have fun. If you're not going to have fun playing, you know, the strongest champions of the game currently, then, you know, that's up to you. But they do give you the highest chance of winning. Now, a lot of people in lower ELO have one goal, and the one goal only. They don't care about improving. They don't care about anything else other than going up in rating, which to me is the wrong kind of mentality. You should be focusing on like improving, and then with that you'll go up. But for a lot of people, it is, you know, firstly going up, then improving. So if you only care about going up, then play the meta. It's that simple. The meta exists for, or is made by high-rated players. You know, the Koreans out there make the meta. The LCS players, even the Diamond 1 Challenger players, they make the meta. You know, even Diamond players where I am, you see some things and you go, oh, that could work, and then you try it, and then eventually, you know, enough people see it in solo queue and they go, hang on, that's actually pretty damn good. So that's kind of what happens in that type of aspect of, you know, just a snowball effect of more people see it, the more people think that's actually quite good. So that also can happen. But yeah, play the meta if you're low. It'll give you the biggest chance of winning. It will give you probably the easiest chance of winning because you'll be playing the strongest champions. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. The meta is not there to cripple you. The meta is there to help you. So I think that'll be it for this video. Hopefully a few of you kind of understand what the meta is now, why it exists, like it is the strongest champions currently, and all that type of thing. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.